Welcome to Ethereal Mechanics video number 42. This is Ghost in the Ether part 2. This is for general audiences. This is an addendum to video emv040. These are interesting things that came to mind after, plus one inclusion. One of the questions is the universe's gas tank mostly full or mostly empty? Inertia and gravity are coupled directly from the ether, and why things appear solid, and we use a raster scan analogy. As stated in video 21, emv021, matter consumes ether to exist. So ether is a sort of fuel. Thus, it makes a big difference whether you believe in the old ether model or the new ether model. Let me explain. In the old ether model, if matter is very dense and ether is a very fine and gaseous material, then if that fine gaseous material has to fuel this heavy thing of matter, and it's very little out here, that means that the universe's gas tank would be dangerously low. That's what I would consume. But with the new ether model, where ether is incredibly dense, but matter is virtually non-existent, that means the universe's gas tank is remarkably full. I like that explanation better. And matter couples properties from the ether. Just as bubbles get their lumbering motion by coupling to the air. Now, if you pop the bubble, they lose their coupling to the air, and that little bead of soapy bubble, that droplet of soapy water is going to fall to the ground virtually instantaneously. So the bubble gets its properties by coupling to the air. And heaviness is coupled to the ether. Let me use a boat analogy. Suppose you have two boats of the same mass sitting on the water, and you got two kids, one on this side and one on this side. They're each holding hands, and they're both going to push off from each other. Which boat do you think is going to go farther? Well, this one, because it's got less coupling to the air. The water can easily slip around, where this one, the water has to go all the way around. And so this boat's going to move farther. So that's a way that you can understand how the medium that objects are in can couple behaviors from the medium. Okay, and from this idea we can develop a new gateway, a new clue. Since pretons are inertialess, the inertial framework of the pretons is developed from coupling to the ether. And in number 21 we said that the velocity relative to the ether is of very little effect, whereas the acceleration relative to ether has a very strong effect. And this led to one of these little details that once kept me awake deep at night that I forgot about. I should have put in the earlier videos. And we showed in one of the other videos, I forgot the number, how gravity works. So if we got this hypothetical model, the new electromagnetism model of the electron being held up by a post, we said that the acceleration of this guy relative to the ether, since the ether is going down, his acceleration relative to the ether is up. And so that's going to cause a force acting on this guy pushing down on the block. Likewise, because this guy is accelerating upward, he's going to cause a reactionary force on this guy to be down. And that's how we can get the effective force of something being held up in a gravitational field. Now the question is, what if you let that electron fall in the gravitational field? Well, its velocity relative to the ether, the velocity of the ether flowing down, the velocity is 11,000 meters per second, even though the acceleration is only 9.8 meters per second. So, but if this guy is falling with the ether at the acceleration of ether, it's accelerating down at 9.8 meters per second, that means this system is not accelerating relative to the ether. So how is it accelerating? Now, that's one of these questions that kept me up late at night, and we're going to solve that in a later video for you. So how do objects appear solid? Well, if you look at the way old TV sets work, they basically have a little dot that moves across the screen, a little bright dot that illuminates the phosphorus, and then it retraces and starts the next line, and the next line, and the next line. And because that dot moves at a very, 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 very high rate, it paints an entire image in what seems to us in our limited monkey attention span as a solid picture. Or if you took a high-speed photograph, you could actually see that dot moving down the screen. Okay, and that's what pretons do. Okay, our entire makeup, or those pretons, are whizzing around at the speed of light, and they're basically disturbing the ether to create virtually our projection. Our projection is an electromagnetic disturbance of the ether caused by the behavior of pretons spinning around at the speed of light. And that's what gives us our solid feel, or appearance of a solid feel. Okay, closing. So the dense ether theory makes more sense as far as remaining time in the universe. Heaviness of dense object is a property coupled from the ether, and of course we showed you some other interesting things like the raster scan analogy. Thank you, and thank you for who you've been donating. I appreciate it. If you want to donate, go to distinti.com. There's a donate button there. My website is woefully out of date. Thank you.